Hello. I wanted to take a minute to go over some functionality that was added to Vicinity 4.29, our December 2019 release. Specifically, the user sees it around batch entry in a scenario where I want the system to automatically assign a lot number. Prior to this release, this lot number was filled in one of two places from one of two sources. One, you could simply type in a lot number. That's fine. So kind of a manual lot number capability. And the second would be to grab the batch number and put it into the lot number automatically. And that happens as soon as I put in a complete now quantity. You can still do that. That's still available. But we've also extended it even further. Instead of simply grabbing the batch number, we now give the ability for the user to identify a mask or sequencing associated with the lot number. So you can build your lot number based on certain fields and certain criteria. In this case, what you're looking at is the 19 represents the transaction year. The 353 represents the transaction date in Julian date format, and the 1 and the 2 has to do with a line item. So if I had multiple line items here, the lot on any lot put on hand on the first line would get a -01, 02, 03, etc. There are a number of different configuration options. Let's go take a look at that. So this is all driven from the facility setup. The facility that we were playing with is my Georgia facility, and more specifically under the production control area, production control section, there's an area for the lot number definition. You can see the mask just listed here, so you can kind of see what you've already done. There are actually 5 segments that have already been defined, and the system's waiting for me to define the 6th segment. The first segment was the batch transaction date with a date filter of YY, that's the year. Then I get my alphanumeric, which is basically a static text. So in this case, it's a dash. Then I come back to my transaction date and use the Julian date, the number from 1 to 365. Then I come back to my numeric, put another dash, and then I get to what's called the end item sequence. In other words, each line item on the end items gets its own number. So that's how you get this. Those are the five segments that we've got in this definition. Now let me talk about what some of your options are. You've seen some of them. The alphanumeric is represented here with a dash or any kind of static value that you might want to have. We've also got batch number, truncate right and truncate left. This is used when your lot number that you're calculating is larger than the lot number supported by your inventory system. Depending on what flavor of inventory you use or ERP you use, that number can be different, anywhere between 12 and 25, I think. So if you run out of room, what it'll do is go and truncate the batch number and put that in. If it's got plenty of room, the batch number will be listed as in the lot number as well. So we can truncate from the left or truncate from the right. Batch transaction date, you've seen that, and now you can pick from any of these formats. You can actually pick parts of the format, so in this case year, year, or you can take the whole thing or just say month, month, year, year, that type of scenario. We've also got lot sequence and end item sequence. The end item sequence is the one you already saw. The end item sequence basically looks at the line items on a batch and gives a sequence number to each line item on the batch. So if I did multiple postings here, let's say on barcode data collection, each lot that goes to this line item would get a sequence number of -01. Now, the lot sequence says that if I do multiple postings, each posting will increment it. So if I were putting pallets on hand, the first pallet would have an 01, the second pallet would have an 02, the third pallet would have 03. I'm not talking about line items, actually talking about complete nows and enter, and complete nows and post, and complete nows and post. Those would get different sequence numbers within the same batch. And they would just, if I went back and forth between lines, it would just flip back and forth on the sequence numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, depending on what the item was being scanned at that time. So What you've got now is you've got some ability to control what the lot number is, what the system generates or assigns for the lot numbers for a produced item, whether it be an intermediate or a finished good. We're happy to consider other options. The options that you have are listed here: alphanumeric, truncation of the batch date, or it's really transaction date, lot sequence, and end item sequence. If you need any help with any of this, please reach out to us. We're happy to help you through this. And hopefully this video spurs some thoughts. And if we're missing something, please let us know, because we'd like to expand this to support most of the use cases out there. Talk to you later and have a great day.